Welcome to the Squad Games Podcast. Squad Games Podcast.
Do you like chicken sandwiches, Janis?
I'm okay with chicken sandwiches.
Do you like spice?
I do like spice.
Do you like Nashville chicken?
It's okay.
The reason why we ask is we like to talk about hot, spicy chicken sometimes. I want to see if there's anything good on the East Coast because I'll be out on the East Coast this month and next month for Nova, and wanted to see is there any good spots?
Well, my go-to fast food chicken sandwich is the Wendy's spicy chicken. I mean, that's my
number
go-to.
9.
Yes,
I don't know.
The number 9. I think it is.
Number 9.
I think it is the number 9. Yeah, that's my go-to.
Now my cat's getting brave. She's getting right next to the microphone. I'm gonna move her.
Oh wow! But as far as chicken places here, there's a few local chains. Hip Hop Chicken is really good. It's a local Maryland, DC chain, I believe. But we get lunch from there quite a few times.
I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be staying with Orion one of the days. So,
Okay.
I'm sure if he ever cooked hot, spicy chicken sandwiches or just chicken sandwiches, because I don't deal with spice that great.
You can go mild.
Yeah, mild. For me, this is mostly for G. I'm sure it'd be better than any of the chains out there. That man,
for sure,
knows how to cook. Him and Angel. Yeah.
Well, and they both come from a chef background, I mean.
Yeah, you can't beat that, I'm also going to work with him on how to make barbecue noodles great again.
Oh, that was a thing you guys
for the
talked
first
about
time?
last time.
Yeah,
That was so long ago.
It was, but I am determined to make that dish work just to prove my wife wrong. So.
I mean, I guess you could put barbecue sauce with chicken, tomatoes, and other kind of hearty vegetables.
No, just noodles.
Just noodles?
Barbecue and noodles. Got to make it work. I'll figure it out, and then when I figure it out, I'll drop the recipe.
Are you going to use a sweet barbecue sauce, or are we just getting barbecue meats?
I have no idea.
Because I could do I
am not a cook, so
that sounds like a college person.
a
college person meal.
see, for me, you have to remember that I'm not a cook. I make triangle pizzas. I don't know.
Gotcha. Hey, there was a thing I was going to say, and I said I was going to say it on the next podcast, so I'm going to say it.
Okay.
This was brought up to me by I don't know if they want to be named, so I'm not going to name them, but they brought this up to me, and they made a fun and interesting point.
Drama happening. Okay.
Oh, it's no drama. Well, maybe. Well, we'll see. It depends on who's going to post crap on the Discord. That's where the drama is going to be.
Oh.
And I'm going to pull it up right here.
Don't you dare say Samosa deployment that they convinced you. Okay.
No. So when it comes to deployments, it's not a matter of food. It's a matter of, can it be a slice? Can you slice it?
What?
Can the food you're eating, will it slice into a triangle properly? Is what they brought up. And I wanted to run that
anything into a triangle.
Right, exactly. So therefore, pizza, quesadilla, grilled cheese work. Sorry, nachos, you got to go home. You can't really slice that. I mean, I guess you could try.
I think, don't they slice nachos before they fry them?
Technically, you slice a tortilla.
Usually in the
so then you deep fry it.
Yeah.
But if we're talking about once the food is made, then you slice it there. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. What the hell?
If it gets soggy enough, you can definitely slice it.
Absolutely. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Hot dogs have a slice down the middle.
Yeah, and
burgers are sliced in half.
Yeah, if you want to see the cross section, so slice deployment kind of feels okay. I don't think a lot of people are going to accept that.
Giacomo, I want to let you know.
Uh-huh.
You are speaking heresy, and if I was near you, I would drive over to your house and beat you up.
Well, if you're going to drive, you're not that far from me. You can already do that. I'm just not going to let you in.
I'll climb to the 3rd story balcony and I'll find my way in.
So one last thing I got to add to this. When the person came up with this answer, they had asked somebody else, and this was what they had said about nachos. It's not nachos. Even with triangles, they're stupid for that. Whoever mentioned nachos. That's what they said. I'm not saying nacho people are stupid. I'm saying a person who said that, suck it, Emmanuel, is saying that about nacho people.
There is
That's not the truth,
1/3 of Kill Team players believe in nacho. You just enrage 1/3 of the community, and they're going to call a WOG, and they're going to come to your 3rd story balcony, and they're going to fight you.
Yeah, I'm on Team Nacho here.
She is.
The controversy is strong today. Disconnects call. I just noticed your name has a little exclamation point. That's perfect.
It's spicy Janis today.
And this is the Squad Games podcast. I'm Giacomo. I'm here today with Dakotah and Janis. And, we're having a good time talking about weird deployments that don't even matter at all because it's fake internet arguments.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, on the Squad Games Discord, Giacomo, what shape did you choose?
I chose... Let me click myself. I believe it's hexagon. Yeah, I believe I should be a hexagon.
You're a hexagon? I am also a hexagon. Janis, did you choose one yet?
In the Discord?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. What are my choices?
A hexagon, a circle, a square, and a triangle.
I have to go hexagon.
Hexagon? All right, so we got 3 hexagons on the call today. There is I will say the most active channel, I believe, is the circles.
Really?
So, yeah.
Whoa.
So in the podcast, in our Discord, you can choose to be a particular shape, and you talk to like-minded individuals. So either your circle friends, your square friends, your triangle friends, or your hexagon friends, and or pentagon friends, whatever the shape is. Go ahead and choose it, and then you can also choose a fake shape to choose a side. Outside of our just our rhetorical
food arguments.
But yeah, it's exciting. Do you guys want to start off with the most recent news and work backwards?
Yeah, because that one thing already came out, so we may as well talk something a little new.
Yeah, it came out today, right? That's the annual for the 2023. How happy / excited or disappointed are you guys with what they've announced is in the book so far? And do we hope that there's more?
Honestly,
I'll let you go ahead, Giacomo.
Thank you. I think it's fine. Everything they've released is what I expected. Awesome. I don't have to go buy a million things. I can own one book now.
Yeah, but you already bought everything. So.
You already bought everything, but that's because that's what you had to do. Well, you don't have to buy this. Well, maybe a little bit because some stuff has changed since. So there is that. There is that. I'll give you this. It's nice because you get all the updates.
Do you? Are the updates in this?
I thought so, right? Or at least for some of the older teams.
Maybe. How about you, Janis?
Yeah, I really like the fact that this is coming out and in the format it is. That way I don't have to carry 5 to 6 different books with me when I go to an event and want to look something up. I don't have to go, oh, which book was that in? I can just grab the annual and it's all there. That said, I mean, everybody wants more when they get things, so I'm hoping there's a little bit more in here, but it's hard to say, to be honest.
Yeah, so far they've announced that this is all of the Galadark books all combined, right? All of the narratives for every team that's come out thus far, and Ashes of Faith. So the final Cultists Menace and the Inquisitor Menace. So it's pretty exciting. There's 296 pages, which is seems to be a slightly ridiculous amount. If anything, I think I'd prefer a competitive compendium where it's just every single team and every single rule. I think that would be nice.
Right. If they sold it like in the 2 books where here's the stuff for Into the Dark and here's the teams. So you don't have to bring both, but they probably sell it as a set.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. At this point, I've been thinking about chopping up my book binders and then just taking them to like a Kinko's or something like that and getting them spiral bound
and getting
with just the teams, cutting out the narrative. Sorry, narrative players. Specifically for the fact that for tournaments, I already have. I'm looking over at my shelf right now, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 core rule books, and I have 1 in my pack, so I have 7.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's
not. I didn't. I guess I did buy them from. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that anymore. So I mean, I wish I would hope that there's another 2 teams in here or something like as of last year, because right now it just feels like a lot of rehash stuff.
I mean, I think that's what they're going for, especially because some of these, like, you're not going to be able to find the parts individually since they come in the box set. Right. And that's like impossible right now. One thing though, if they release this, I kind of hope they release like, I know they're not going to, but I kind of wish they would release like a season 1 where you had all the teams from season 1 that weren't in the annual in their own book.
That would be nice to be able to have it by season of all your various kill teams. That way, like again, you don't have to have all the books.
Kill team developers hear us and put it out by December.
Maybe this is something for that new position they posted for.
Exactly. I find that something that's interesting as well is that they're doing all 9 basic critical ops missions and the 36 shadow operations missions will all be included as well. So seems to be pretty interesting, and also the fact that they're releasing the narrative terrain all in one bundle. So now there's no more excuse for TOs like myself that are trying to develop interesting and cool maps with the current state not to have, exploded walls and all that kind of stuff in their designs. What do you guys think about that?
I really like that they're putting all the narrative bits into one bundle, and that goes on pre-order next week, if I'm correct, right?
Probably Saturday, right?
I think so. Or it's on pre-order today and comes out next week, something like that. One of the two.
I think it goes on pre-order this Saturday.
Oh.
Got it.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm trying to confirm that right now.
Yeah, I've always liked like the little narrative stuff. Like it's cool, and I really do think you can make competitive boards with certain pieces. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the walls.
I think the most interesting thing is one of their last sentences. It says, "All you'll need besides these rules and terrain is a simple pack of playing cards to make it accessible in a way and new gameplay, narrative, excitement." Blah, blah, blah,
yes,
blah.
For their expedition map, they have like each little symbol, whether it's the clubs, hearts, or whatever, it does something, and I think that's kind of fun.
So it's actual playing cards. I was reading this as something else
because I'm thinking you reveal it and then like, oh hey, I got a diamond, so I get whatever diamonds gives me.
Interesting,
which is nice. That's nice.
See, I thought they were saying the crit ops mission cards, which is like is it still insanely hard to get?
I mean, I see when we were at the tournament we just ran, there was like, even just a handful of people who are using that one, what are the things like Kill Team I something website that gives you all the critical missions and you can generate missions from there. Like they're still using that. So I think they're still not as easily accessible to people.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely still sold out online. So
yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. It's so stupid.
I
don't understand.
There's one store in my area that still has 3 copies of the cards.
Janis, you could buy those and sell them on eBay for so much money.
I probably could.
Yeah, you definitely could.
But it's just so funny. Every time I walk into this store, I'm not going to name names because they don't have They don't have a great reputation in my area, but I walk in and it's like, oh look, there's 3 copies of the Crit Op cards still sitting here from when they first launched.
I mean, if you wanted to be a hero to the community, you could buy them right now and sell them for a normal price on eBay.
You could, or you could sell them for $75 because that's what they're selling for on eBay.
And if I bought them, someone would snipe them from me and then sell them for a higher price.
Well, in the UK, they're going for $114.
What?
What?
They're just cards.
I know.
Crazy. That's crazy.
The shipping is $32, which is as much as the 10 standard pack. So it's $150 all in from UK.
So I may have to go to my unfriendly local game store and pick those up to make a little profit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess. International shipping only.
That's how, man, if I had that chance, I'd go out and buy them and then pay for Nova. I paid for Nova by selling Crit Ops cards at the highest price possible. That's exciting. All right. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I'm pretty happy that, something came out, and it seems like the summer of Cult has really been a dry spell for a lot of Kill Team players. We see everyone online, all the content creators, or a lot of them at least, speaking pretty poorly of the game, and I think it's mostly because there's been no news, so they have to make some kind of clickable content.
Something, and I don't know. I think that content is garbage.
I also think it's garbage.
And negative content does get the clicks.
It sure does, or at least people would hope so. It kind of alienates quite a lot of people in your audience too. They might watch you for a little while, then no one really wants, in my opinion, wants to consume too much negative content.
Right.
Yeah, but there are some people on the YouTubes that thrive on that sort of thing, and it's like, I need my fix. I need my negativity against GW.
That is true. That is true. I think a healthy dose of criticism is good every now and then, but honestly, like so much, like it was bad. Like I've been watching some stuff, and there's like nothing, and then finally it's like, emergency update for Kill Team. Oh my gosh, let's talk about how GW messed up and they're trying to fix them. It's like, guys, can we spin this in a more positive light with the balanced data slate? Like perhaps GW realized there was a problem and they put out a data slate so that we could fix it rather than it being all spun negatively,
And this isn't, well, we're going to be getting to talk about the data slate shortly, but it wasn't an emergency data slate. It is the Q3 data slate. I mean, it sure is what it is. It's not we broke this, now we need to fix it in a hurry. No, we're in Q3, people, so just keep that in mind.
Absolutely. It's what we've been... This is like 3.5, right? Like they kind of buffed a bunch of teams in the first part, and then they nerfed a bunch of teams in the second part, which I found I kind of like this style. I hope they continue doing this going forward, just because like maybe it's easier for them, maybe it's not. I don't know how that whole back end process works, but kind of getting a little bit of updates here and there as it continues to cycle through. It creates a more balanced game, if that's what we're going for.
For sure.
If we're just going to shoot a goat in the back of the head and let him die, maybe this is not the way. Yeah, I mean, I found it very interesting. It's been really bad the past 2 weeks online, I think, on YouTube. There's been very little positive things said about the game. So I found it very interesting. I wonder how you guys feel. Let us know in our Discord if you guys are happy with some of the content creators, or if you guys don't watch them anymore, or if you guys like it and you guys like the honest feedback that they're giving, or kind of your thoughts and processes on it. I mean, obviously there's still stuff being produced and made online. It's fascinating. I was a part of one Discord, and like there was this huge doom and gloom about like, hey, I think that the game is dying, and I don't think that they're going to be posting anything anymore about this team. It's just like it's kind of weird that like people are so used to information being fed to them so regularly that they just think a game is dying just because there's a little bit of a lull. And it's like 10th edition just came out. Right. I'm sure that they're pumping out as many Leviathan boxes. So they probably, like, in my estimation as a business, they probably had to start building up stock for whatever they're going to be releasing next. So that includes the Space Marines, the, Leviathan, AOS, Warcry, all their other games, Armageddon, the new Kill Team box. So, it could be a logistical problem too. So,
and it's just, if you look back at the Games Workshop track record over the past, 8 years, every time there's a huge release of either 40K or AOS, you don't hear anything from any other games for like 3 months after that release, because everything for the company is riding on those large box releases. And those are the two big systems that make them their money. I mean, let's be honest, 40K is their golden calf. I mean, it's going to give them the best returns. So of course we're not going to, all we're going to hear for 3 months is 40K.
Yeah. It's also interesting about the 40K aspect is, like, there's a couple people at our tournament this weekend that would come up to us and were asking us more about Kill Team because they have not been liking the new 40K is. And I talked to the main TO for that event, and he said that 10th edition is a really fun game. It's very fun. It's very good. The problem is with 10th is that it's not great competitively. And so, like, they're seeing like this weird aspect that it's almost alienating some of their competitive players. It might be good for us in the long run because, some of those players might come to the better game, which is Kill Team currently.
Right.
I mean, just objectively, competitively, if you're looking for a competitive game, Kill Team is by far the best game. I mean, we had our couple months of Colts, but outside of that, this game's been pretty balanced for the past 2 years it's been out. So
yeah, up until the hiccup of Ashes of Faith, I mean, it's been a very balanced game.
Yeah. Another small interesting thing that I found over the past few weeks is how much certain people in the scene dislike Into the Dark. And I find it interesting. I wonder if the sales of the annual is not going to be great because, firstly, a lot of people already have these teams, and also it seems like a lot when Into the Dark first came out, that's the only way people wanted to play. It's the only way. A lot of Spain really likes Into the Dark too, but they think it's more balanced. But like when you talk to, like, it's really big clusters all throughout the United States. It's including our area, including the Pacific Northwest. I'm sure there's places on the East Coast that do. There's a lot of people at KTO that, I guess, I didn't know this because I enjoyed myself, but a lot of people went there, played the game, enjoyed it, and then they were like, yeah, I don't want to play another 8-round tournament of Into the Dark again. And I was like, oh, well, that would have been nice to know before I planned for LBO, Yeah, it still seems like people are willing to play Into the Dark. It's just not the preferred method at the moment.
I think from the East Coast scene that I can speak to a little bit, we like mixed tournaments better than just one set. Mm-hmm. Like if it's all Into the Dark. I mean, yeah, well, that can wear on you, especially if you're running a team that is better in one than the other.
True.
But my preference is a mixed tournament, to be honest.
Yeah, that is mine as well. The fact that you might get to play on something or might have to, even if it's not good for your team.
Right, and that's part of the game. Like, you have to be able to adapt to whatever situation you have.
Yeah, you have to adapt to whatever you're going to be going up against, and on what terrain set you're going to be going up against.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, when they're planning teams or planning their stuff out, they also don't change the way the team plays when they're going from version to version. Like, for instance, I play Vetguard way differently on Into the Dark than I do on Open, right? And it's just because, and against specific teams, Felgor and Cultist, Gellerpox, like you have to be adaptable. And if you're not adaptable, then you're probably not going to find as much success. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, including I think you brought Wormblade to KTO. You still got placed in Pod 3, which was really good.
Yeah. That was definitely a climb that weekend.
Yeah,
but you got to earn that.
Yeah, but were you happy? Me, Jimmy Kelly, and Giacomo had a podcast recently where we rated them as D or F tier. I forget. Would you agree with that, Janis?
No. I put them as C tier for Into the Dark.
Interesting. Okay.
Even though they do lose a bunch of their shenanigans, I still think they are. You're not going to win a tournament with them. I will point blank say that, but you're going to probably at least get to like 50-50 on your win loss.
I can see that.
So that's my take on it with.
And you go more melee focused, or do you vary it up from team to team?
Well, it does depend on what team I would be looking at, but I do tend to go more melee focused with my Wormblade when I'm doing Into the Dark.
Yeah, which is way different than what you would expect on an open board, because I don't think I've ever seen a competitive Wormblade player go melee on open.
Oh no, splitting your agents between the. I have seen people do that, but for the most part, it's mostly people doing the shooting game. To be quite honest. Yeah,
the Sanctus is a little bit too strong not to take him on open.
Oh yeah, he's so good, and well, Keller Morph is nothing new. Nothing more needs to be said.
Okay, interesting. So we got a C rating, and I trust Janis on it. She took him. She went really well, and whenever we revisit that we'll have to think about it.
And I mean, not to knock it, but John Reynolds has come within grabbing distance of a golden ticket with them at Into the Dark events.
Really?
Yeah, he's one of the Midwest Goonhammer guys.
Oh wow! Okay, wow, that's actually impressive.
Yeah, he almost won Kansas City, I think, with them, and he came real close at what was Adepticon that I was at.
Oh, interesting.
He and Leander Garrett went top table last round, and Leander won because Leander was running Star Striders at the time, which were definitely the better team into that matchup. And yeah, so he took third overall in that one, and I think John took second at Kansas City, but I could be wrong on that stat.
Yeah, it's still impressive. I remember him doing well at Kansas City. I didn't remember seeing him I don't think I even looked at Adepticon's ratings. I just saw Leander one, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm glad he beat me at KTO.
Yeah, top 8 at Adepticon was a Shark Tank for sure.
Yeah. Let's go over our tournament results afterwards, because I definitely had some conception, like some ideas going into our tournament that I think I definitely disproved myself.
Okay.
After the tournament, because I actually played against most of the teams that got touched. So, and yes, I did play in my own tournament for the first three rounds, because we had a special guest TO, Travis Chang from Just Another Kill Team podcast, came out and was a TO for the first day. And if I didn't play, we would have had an odd number, and we would have had buys. So I played day 1 and I dropped day 2.
And this is Hammer of Wrath that happened this past weekend, correct?
Yes.
Correct. And there's a couple things that I learned business-wise about running 2-day events that we can go over as well for those TOs that are listening. But yeah, let's go over some of these data slate business.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing that changed in this?
My favorite thing that changed. Are we talking personally or for the betterment of the game?
Personally.
Personally, the changes to the salvagers.
Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Because I've been a squat fan from back in Rogue Trader days, so having my squats actually be a viable team now is like so exciting.
Giving you a high five through the internet.
Thank you.
Yes, that's a good one.
What is your? You want to go through some of those changes and then we'll talk about them?
Sure. So, with the Hearthkin Salvagers changes that came up in the Q3 data slate, the big one is an additional wound for all the operatives. So they are at an 8 wound base as opposed to 7 wound. I like this for 2 reasons. It takes them away from that kind of human stat line and puts them on the Xeno stat line with Eldar and other things, which is where they should have been at the beginning, in my opinion. Okay. So yeah, all the regular guys have 8, and of course the Thane has 9 now. So next, this is for the medic and equipment. The plasma knives are 5-up lethal now, and cost 2 equipment points if you're buying them as equipment.
That kind of puts them on the same power level as the power knives from the Inquisition, right? Because they had the same type of ruling. I think they're just kind of updating the rules for them.
Yep. Yeah, they have 4 attacks now and the 5-up lethal special rule. And this actually gives the salvagers a bit of a melee bite now too, because before, 3 attacks. And
right. You had what? Maybe your thing's Dozer, and you had your Thane that could maybe do some damage.
Yeah. Maybe.
yeah. It's still like, but I'd rather have 4 than 3, so I'm happy for the change.
Absolutely, 4 attacks, real nice.
Yeah, and 5-up lethal is just so much nicer because you do have a better option to get some parries in as well. If you don't,
could we get hand axes up to 4 attacks? That would be awesome.
You got the bodies for it, so I don't know if you need it.
Yeah, you have 14 bodies there, Sparky.
Yeah.
So the other big change for the Hearthkin is that the Thane now can use the Eye of the Ancestors ability during the strategy phase, and you do not need to have line of sight to put it on an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Also, if you have 3 or more friendly operatives out of action, you can do it twice.
Yeah, it's a really big change. I think it's a really strong change. It should really help them a lot.
It helps out with that 4-up ballistic skill. So now you can just go turn one of those hits into critical. So you're just getting that little extra damage you really need. And you're going to do, you're going to pair that up with the Ancestors are watching still. So your heavy weapons are going to do an insane amount of damage.
Specifically helping them against Felgor Ravagers.
Yes. The Ravagers, they got quite the small change, which although I can see how shooting teams become a little bit better, a good Ravager player will still play them defensively and try not to let you punish them that way.
Yeah. I have my thoughts on Felgor, and we can talk about those. Janis, what is your least favorite change out of the data slate?
My least favorite change, it might be going a little too far with the Felgor changes.
Okay.
And the one that is in particular is the ignoring, that frenzy ignoring control for objective markers.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting take. You should have called in on our Hot Takes Twitch show the other day and told us that. That would have been an interesting take. That's spicy. That's spicy, Janis. why do you think that is the particular one that went a little bit too far?
It's just more of a gut feeling than anything else. It just, okay. I don't know. It seems like it feels bad in a little bit of a way because I think a frothing at the mouth goat man should still be able to at least keep you from gaining control of that objective marker.
See, I think it was done specifically because it made that it was also feels bad for your opponent to be like, I killed it, but yet he's still contesting central or center line or this or that. And it's even worse on turning point 4 because it's like, oh, I finally got to shoot stuff, finally got to kill stuff, and I can't take any objectives. And it just feels super, super bad. In my opinion, this is my favorite change that they've done to them just because it really helps with a lot of them. A lot of the feels bad for other players. The thing that I don't like about them is or this is what I thought. I played against them this weekend. Was the shooting, and at our tournaments, we're ruling them how I believe they are intended to be ruled. Whether people on the internet want to argue with me or not, that's fine. But
so how are you ruling them?
I'm ruling them that you have to have an additional shooting attack against them from a different model.
That is correct.
That's what I expected it to be.
There are a lot of people online that are saying that they can do it in the same shooting activation, and I just think you're purely wrong.
They are wrong. Yeah, that is not the way it is meant to be. I mean,
and I'm sure an errata will come out and specify it, but I don't even see the reason why it needs. It's specified in Warhammer community in the article, and on top of that, like. And then people and
if you read the rule book, you'll see that that's pretty much spelled out between the rules and this change.
Yeah. And it's frustrating because I tell some people online and they're like, actually, that's not the way it is. And it's like, actually it is. And, it's kind of frustrating to argue with these rules lawyers online. When, this is literally what I do for a living. So I read it and I interpret it in this way, and this is how we're going to do it until the Games Workshop tells me no.
Your interpretation is the correct interpretation here. The only models that would be able to take them out in their activation would be ones that have 2 shooting attacks.
Space Marines,
Killer Morph, Heretics.
Yeah, so I thought that this team went way too far. I thought when I was reading it, and I thought I even told people they're the worst team in the game now, right? And I was very wrong. I lost to them on Into the Dark from Jonathan Marquis.
I don't think you're giving them that. You're taking the nerfs to the team too far. They're not the worst team in the game. Trust me on this.
No, they're not. I definitely played into them, lost. Jonathan played them very well. And they're still really strong on Into the Dark, really strong. And that shooting thing is harder to pull off than you would think because they still get to save. Heaven forbid you actually get the crit and then they save it. And you're like, I guess this model's dead next turn, and it's just like, it's a trade-off. Like, can you make the shot? Can they make the save? Like they're still actually reliably tanky unless you're playing Castrican or Salvagers.
And it's only, when it comes to a critical shot, if you can't do the double up shot like you can with melee.
Yeah. And you still have, lethal 5s will still do it good against them like Phobos or other things like that. So, there's definitely
lethal 5 or have, dice manipulation to go into generate extra crits, like you said, with Castrican or Salvagers.
Yeah. What's interesting about the team now, though, is that they're still, I believe, pretty good on Into the Dark. And I think they still have some playing open, but I'd still think they'd be a viable team to bring to a mixed tournament.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And I would definitely rate that. I think they went from S or A+ tier to B tier.
I think they're still A.
I'd still put them in A.
Okay.
Because once they're in your face, you're like, you're going to die from this guy. Like, they have such crazy abilities, each of them. You're like, what do you even do?
Yeah. Like,
there's a dude that, like, unless you're full strength intercessor, you're going to die.
Yeah. I mean, heaven forbid that they get into Vetguard's backline like they did mine, and they're like, this guy spins around and does a lot of damage. This guy spins around and does a lot of damage. This guy throws a grenade and you get all stunned. And you're like, oh my God, stop it. Leave me alone.
This guy runs through your line and hits everybody. Wait,
yeah. Stop, please. I'm going to run away to the other side. Demo Man, save me. He's the only fighting chance that you have against Felgor Ravagers is a well-placed demo mine. That's literally it. It's insane.
I could see that.
Yeah. And heaven forbid because what every Felgor Ravager player is looking at, if you're playing against a Vetguard player, is to try and get your stun off on the demo mine. So he gets that either if he's at 3 APL, he goes down to 2, or if he's at 2, he goes down to 1. So he can't just go instantly kill everything.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty important.
The bomb that can shoot through walls.
Yeah. Surprising it hasn't been touched yet. I pray to the Emperor every day that it doesn't. So
they don't need a buff. They don't need any kind of nerf. They're perfect.
Exactly. And Poland would agree with me. And the Emperor protects. That's what protects them. G, do you have a favorite or if your favorite is also Hathkin, what about your least favorite change?
Least favorite? I don't really have like a least favorite, though Hearthkin is not my favorite. I'll have two things here. Warp Coven got a change that I think they needed desperately, was the archetype, because when you built it this one way and has one archetype, I thought that was dumb as hell. Like, cool when it first came out, but then you see, well, no one else has to suffer that way. And, we got to see it this weekend, and it's cool. It's a good change.
I do like that change a lot because, like you said, it does help them quite a bit, and it was kind of a artifact of earlier game design for Kill Team.
Yeah, it's what's interesting about the Warp Coven changes is after all of these changes, making the Rubric Marines so much better. Alex, who we've talked about multiple times on the podcast, and he called in on our hot takes, tabletop hot takes show. He said that he was going to bring Warp Coven with 1 sorcerer and 10 Zangor because he was trying to make Beastmen great again.
He was trying to prove a point on the internet too, because someone said that's not good.
Yeah, and then if he won his last game, he would have taken 3rd.
Okay.
He ended up taking 6 because he lost to Space Marines, who that was Miles. Miles won that game, which was a local grudge match. They're buddies, but Miles ended up taking 2nd. So, the fact that an all Zangor team, which no one would think is good, did better. I think, did he do better than our Felgor player? Let's find out.
I think in the placings, yes, he Mr. Marquis placed in 9th.
Yes, he did.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, so we found out what the better Beastman player, not Beastman player, but the Beastman team is, and that's currently a Spam the Zangors and a Sorcerer.
A Spam Gors?
Spam Gors. It's fascinating that they keep trying to make rubrics work, and it looks like the best thing to do is to drop sorcerers and just take Zangor. It's actually funny. It's actually super funny.
Poor rubrics.
And the thing is I don't see this as the end of Warp Coven's change. They're going to be like, well, when are rubrics going to be better? And they're probably going to make another change to either make Zangors worse or rubrics like way over the top, you know?
Well, you know the secret sauce here about it, Giacomo.
Lay it on me.
With Warp Coven. They have to change it constantly because it's Zinch.
Let's go. I like it. You know, the next change I'm looking forward to with them is to put the Zangors on the same Beastman stat line. So give them all 10 wounds.
Oh, boy.
Make them really the better.
That might be a little too much. They're not nearly as ripped as those Felgor.
No, they're kind of weedy.
Yeah. They have. I guess they have invulnerable saves.
They're chickens, not goats.
They are birds.
Yeah,
spicy birds, but
They're spicy, hollow boned.
Cut them up, put them in a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'll eat some goat too. I'll have some gyros.
That must be Jimmy Kelly's. When he has bad Popeye, it's made with Zangor.
Zangor meat.
Oh, dang it. My favorite. Oh no, Giacomo, what's your least favorite? Did you have one?
Yeah. For least favorite, I think it's the cultist thing. Nothing that they did. I think they just might have needed to be just like a little bit more.
Okay.
I think
your least favorite is that they didn't touch cultists hard enough.
Honestly, I think it's just the wound thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's still like, the grind of just like they're down to 2 wounds.
Did you play against cultists this weekend?
No, but every person I talked to that did mentioned the wounds thing.
Oh, the
healing?
When you mutate up from a devotee to
a mutant to a torment,
and you're getting your full wounds complement.
Yes.
Yeah, I think even like what would be an interesting change would be like, hey, for the healing thing, instead of just saying like you heal D3 or whatever, if your mutant if your dude is already injured and he heals, he just goes to 5 wounds instead of 7 wounds. If your torment is injured and he goes to 10 wounds instead of 13,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they did a change with that, it would have to be broken down between injured and not injured, because otherwise you would have to get crazy math involved, and
yeah,
people
like
hate math.
If it's an uninjured model and you transform them, then they just go to full wounds. Yeah. But if they're like below half, just like mutate them up, just not to full health. I think that would feel better because they suffer from the same thing as the Felgor. When you kill them, like the Felgor, when you kill them and they still stand on the objective marker and they stop you from taking it, it feels bad. When you almost kill a model and you get them down to 1 wound or 2 wounds, and then they transform in their full life and they're stronger and better, you're like, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's a good take, Jock.
Yeah,
that's all.
That's definitely a good take, but the overall, I think the cult, they have to keep looking at the results coming out from this to see if they need to be tuned a bit more. But I think this is going to definitely abate a lot of the doom and gloom of Summer of Cult.
I mean, somewhat. When we did play an all Into the Dark tournament, and another reason why people probably dislike Into the Dark right now is because cults are too good on Into the Dark, and Felgar are also really good. Cultists ended up taking the all Into the Dark tournament, which is what everyone expects. And it's good that James Robinson came out and repped them and showed their power, so that, GW can look at it and be like, hey, like, do we still need to look at them or not? And then our second cultist player took 5th. I think he went 3-3. Ezekiel went 3-3. So, okay. but he also scored. He didn't score below 16 points.
Yeah,
throughout the whole tournament. So he was the top of the 3-3. A lot of people ask me about the tournament. It was like, hey, why do you have 6 rounds? It's like, oh, we had Rob flying from Reno. Shout out to you, homie. And I didn't want to. We advertised it as 6 rounds because we wanted there to be more people. There was only 14 players that came. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'll probably change up the format next year where we'll do 2 one-day tournaments, and day 1 we'll have a top 8 cut to make it a little bit more easy for certain players to come. Cause there's some people that couldn't come because it was a 2-day. So you can only do so many 2 days in a year, I think. So, but yeah, I played against cultists. I played against Zeke, and I ended up winning that match as vet guard. I took some really silly secondaries. I was playing TO. I'm not trying to do anything too crazy.
Right.
I took hold them back, which I didn't think I'd score. I took escort operative, and I took seize defenses into cultists. And then
That's some pretty risky ops to have there.
I mean, I didn't think I'd score any. Okay, I didn't. And then I also took the Hardened Veteran with the Rosary, and then I took on all of my normal little dudes. I took hand axes. Okay. And throughout the tournament, each one, I just used my leader to give myself ceaseless in close combat, and I retained one in close combat every time. Okay. And it was actually way stronger than I thought it would be, and I was able to kill multiple mutants. And also, there's a couple bad dice rolls, and Zeke over transformed, and there's a certain point where when he transferred too many models, he couldn't take points anymore. So I was able to just move bodies onto it, steal the point. If they die, they die. It's the only model left. So in that area. So it's not like I could lose points. Right. And then Rambo, my Melt-A-Gun guy, was my escort operative, and he made it to the back line. And I got the siege defenses because my demo man killed like 6 cultists in one torment. So yeah, melee vet guard, surprisingly good. Surprisingly, new blooded. Better blooded.
Are you saying this is the new meta for the?
Yeah, 100%. I might do it more often, and I'm not gonna lie. like it was. I was like, oh, maybe I should do this into Felgor, because what I'm doing into Felgor on Into the Dark is not working. Might be interesting. So definitely some play there, but some of their nerfs were definitely felt for sure. So like the Iconarch having to spend an extra AP really made him immobile, and he basically just had to sit in the back almost the entire game. He couldn't really do very much. We were playing secure, so like at a certain point of time, like if he's going to move out and try and take a point, he can't transform. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. Wait, is that it?
No, you have the Feel No Pain goes to 6.
Yeah. This Feel No Pain to 6 was huge. It was absolutely enormous. There's so many 5s that he rolled for the torments and the mutants, and that really saved me.
That was a needed change, because that was so broken. Same with the Iconarch. I feel no remorse that he got changed.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Because the Iconarch is having both of those active all the time was just and the Crazy Flamer.
Yeah. It was pretty gnarly. I was able to. He killed I think 1 or 2 Vet Guard models, and then I tied him up in close combat. Luckily, the Iconarch is awful in close combat. Found that out by chainsawing him to death with it.
Yeah, once the little squad of 5 is not as tough as you think. It's really once you hit torment section, that's the problem. Another thing, mutants went from relentless to ceaseless,
which was also a huge change.
Thank God.
Yeah.
The team definitely felt beatable now. The question is if they were. I think now the problem with Colts is if there's a level dependency. It's no longer like if you just take them, you win. Yeah. Right now, it's like you do have to play them with some skill in order to win.
Yeah, you have to think now. Now it's no longer just put models on a table and roll dice and win.
Yeah, I do think that if you do think while bringing them, you easily can take an event still. So I still put them in S tier. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're still high A, low S tier in my opinion. There's no special. What is it that some of the YouTubers have said? The special S+ tier for them.
Yeah, not anymore. At least I think there was once upon a time.
Definitely before this data slate came out, there was, but they're definitely a beatable team now.
Yeah, I think there's been 4 teams that have touched that S+ tier in their lifetimes. I think it was Pathfinders.
Yes.
I think the Hunter Clade was there for a while.
Hunter Clade was there for a while. Sisters were there for a while.
Oh yeah, Sisters. I forgot. And also the thing that bumped Hunter Clade out and made them a non-playable team anymore. That's why you don't see them anymore. It's Gellerpox. Gellerpox was slept on for a really long time, and now Cultists. So there's been 5 teams that have really kind of popped up to that S+ tier.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So why don't we jump over to the other side of Ashes and talk about it while we're here on cults.
While we're here, yeah.
The inquisitorial agents. Janis, I would love to know why they didn't get rid of the cat from Navy Breachers.
That is a good question. I don't know why they didn't do that. That is something that should probably go away, since the Vet Guard ancillary, they don't get their spotter, so why should there be the cat?
Right.
Yeah.
But, people love cats. I mean...
Yeah, I love the cat.
So if people out there that don't know why the Navy Breachers cat is super strong on that team is because it takes away concealment, correct?
Yes.
And what is the best gun in the game?
Plasma cannon.
Plasma cannon.
Yep.
Yeah. By far the best gun in the game. So when you have those 2 models paired up, you can get some really nasty blasts off. So I don't know why they're not winning more events personally, but
yeah, especially before this change, because how many AP2 weapons could they have at
4,
any given time?
4,
5, 6?
All the AP2 weapons.
Everyone. Yeah, all of them.
So for those that are listening that may not know, the inquisitorial agents got one of their changes is they're only allowed to have 2 operatives that have AP2 weapons. Now, so you're probably going to be seeing the plasma cannon and a plasma gunner now, more than likely.
Yeah, I think when the cat gets taken out,
that may change. Yeah.
Yeah. If and when that happens, I think the plasma cannon may go away because it's just not viably that good anymore. And
right,
I think
on its own.
I think that you will get the plasma pistolier and like a normal plasma or melt-a-gun or something like that.
Without that combo, the servitor isn't going to be a good enough model to reliably rely on them.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, so I think that this team definitely will change here and there, but the demo mine is still good with them. You can't take the demo mine from the Casterkins anymore because, like, why would you ever take the plasma cannon and then a
mine,
a melta mine? When you could take a plasma gun. That's just it. Definitely, I think, stopped them from taking some interesting possibilities on the team, but it was also probably needed.
Would you guys have been okay if it was up to 3 instead of 2?
3 is still a bit much.
Yeah, I think this take is needed. I think the problem is that they have 2 viable AP2 dudes on their team currently, so it kind of like stops certain things. Like, it makes Exaction Squad really good with them, but obviously still Breachers are the best, specifically because of the cat. It doesn't require anything else. It's just like, this person can take concealment away. I have a really big, tall model with blast, and I can nuke an entire area every round. So, and then you can also bring a medic, right? The Breachers have a medic, right?
Yeah.
Breachers do have a medic.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So then when the dude dies, the plasma cannon servitor dies, you could just bring him back to life and he can dash away. So, good stuff. What do you guys think about the Interrogator and Tome School having a group activation of 2 now? They used to out-activate every single team, but now with 12 activations and a set of 13 activations, some teams can match them. What do you guys think?
I like that change because I feel the Tome Skull shouldn't be a 1A GA model just because of what it is.
Right. Like, it needs to be with something.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I feel about, like, since we're on the topic of Breachers, how the Geist Skull and like the cat should be. They should go GA2 specifically with their required model that controls them.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, that makes more sense. And also, no one's really taken the cat outside of Inquisitions. Like when you're playing breaches, you're probably not taking the cat.
True.
You're going to take the extra guys.
Yeah. I think that something that's needed for them, for me to ever consider taking them as a team, no matter how good they are, is they need to buff the interrogator. I'm sorry. I can't get behind a team that's leader is just
nothing.
Ass. He's just not.
He's no Eisenhorn.
He is no Eisenhorn. He's not supposed to be an Eisenhorn, right?
It'd be cool if you'd have the option to choose an interrogator that could have like slight psychic powers, or one that's way more shooty, or one that is designed to be just for buffs and not very good in combat like they have right now. Mm-hmm. That'd be a fun decision.
But I would love for them to just permanently give him like a power knife, right? So that you don't have to spend it on him. He then becomes like a viable person that you don't have to spend EP on, because right now while his buff is really good, heaven forbid you put him next to the cat and the plasma cannon, and plasma cannon's getting 5 dice.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Overcharge with a medic. I'm going to kill everything in that area and save my own guy. Cool. With 5 dice again. I can't say it enough. I think that he definitely needs a little bit of something, because he just has a bolt pistol and some fists, and it just feels bad. I just don't like him. I just don't.
Yeah, I could see how he could get a little bit more sauce to him.
Yeah, he's boring, but it is what it is. That's my least favorite thing, is that they didn't buff the Inquisition interrogator, because I would love to see him be something cool. I think my favorite change is the Gellerpox rust animations. Mm-hmm. Strategic ploy only affecting Nightmare Hulks.
Yeah.
That's
now is it Nightmare Hulks, Janis, or is it the range of Nightmare Hulks, of engagement range? So like, let's say somebody decides to fight a glitchling that's also within 1 inch of the Nightmare Hulk. Does it also affect them? This is a question I got, and I was like, I have no idea.
I mean, you have to be within engagement range.
Yeah, it would be the range of the Nightmare Hulk.
Mm-hmm. But what if your engagement range of the Nightmare Hulk and, like, let's say a glitchling, and then you fight the glitchling and not the Nightmare Hulk?
You're still within engagement range of the Nightmare Hulk.
Yeah, so rust animations would then work, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
As long as you're with the model you're activating is within engagement range of the Nightmare Hulk, you're still going to be affected by that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, when you say it so matter of factly, I mean, it makes a lot more sense.
That's because I have that authority in my voice.
that absolute authority, which I think we just skipped over.
We did skip
over the absolute authority.
I wanted to talk about that one.
Let's go back.
Because when it was no CP stuff, like you could just go, all right, Hyrotech Circle, you're not going to reanimate. Yeah, all right, Phobos, you're not doing this thing. Like it was just those little things to go, get fucked, Mm-hmm. So that needed to be changed.
Yeah, and it only being able to be active on one ploy, because there are some teams that rely on a single ploy to be effective.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, like again, Hyrotech Circle. If you just go, you can never use that again.
Just a scratch.
Just a scratch. Yeah, just a scratch.
I mean, they have shush too, but
and the Heretic Astartes legionaries, they need their god powers to be viable. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, and only in death is, I think, the best strategic ploy that Vetguard have. It really makes their team unique and strong. It's their biggest gotcha for sure.
Yeah, and being able to only shut it down once is more than fine, in my opinion.
I agree, because a lot of times, like, they're really trying to make sure that one does. Like, I mean, it felt bad when I was playing Exaction Squad and against Kellen, and I was like, oh, I'm going to dash my guys up and get him behind a barrier that I'm going to place right here, so I lock down this hallway. Awesome. oh, you're not allowed to do that. I was like, oh, shit. Do you have anything that can shoot far? No, just 6-inch guns. I was like, thank goodness. Thank God cops can't shoot far. So, at least most of them.
Well, speaking of cops, you know.
Yeah. They had a change. Ruthless efficiency.
Yeah. It got, so I'll read it directly here since it's in front of me. Each time a friendly operative with this ability makes a shooting attack with a weapon that doesn't have the blast special rule or the word grenade in its name, if the target's within 2 of another friendly execution squad operative, the ranged weapon has P1 critical for that shooting attack. Mm-hmm. Pierce 1 is nice. It helps them get through elites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Problem that we saw at the tournament.
Yeah.
Kellen called in the week of on our hot take, our tabletop hot takes, and he was like, "I think Exaction Squad is S tier." And we're like, "Oh, really?" So we talked about it.
That's a bold statement.
It is, and we talked about it. I still think they're an A tier.
The shields, man.
Yeah, the shields are. I mean, I played into them and I lost.
I hated the shields so much. And they had what are those little light things they have? The lumen something.
Phosphor
lumens. I hate it so much because as Marines, it stops essentially 2 of your doctrines. You have to go back and shoot from far.
Yeah. The one thing is Exaction Squad at the Into the Dark tournament, which I would objectively say they are stronger at Into the Dark than Open, because you can get the subjectors up there a lot closer, which literally Vet Guard can't kill them once they get into close combat. You just can't. You get 3 attacks. They go first. They block 2 of them. And you're like, all right. I mean, maybe if I roll 3 crits with the hand axe.
Okay, get wrecked.
Yeah.
And then they kill you anyways. Also I'll tell you guys a funny story. He charged a subjector into the middle of like, I think my sniper and my spotter. And I realized that he already activated after the fact. I realized he already activated, so I could have just fell back with both of them and then shot him to death with my plasma. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do that. Instead, I just charged him with 3 other guardsman models. So there was 5 guardsman models on one subjector. and I just didn't fight. And I was like, central control. I was like, you know what? Let's see you kill all these models in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it. It was fun. But I saw them struggle immensely into what is their biggest counter and always has been their biggest counter, which is the intercession squad. And there didn't seem to wait. Like whenever I walked by when he was playing, he was just defeated. Like it seemed as if there was nothing that they could do into that matchup.
Yeah, and intercession and Legion, they just have such a struggle with.
Yeah, I still think that they're probably A tier, maybe B plus. But I do think that since both of those teams are pretty popular, they're going to continue to struggle until they receive more buffs.
Yeah. If they had a run and did not have to run into a Marine team, I think they would definitely be top 3 at a tournament.
Absolutely.
But the fact is, you're going to hit a Marine team.
Yep.
A Marine team, a Cultist team, a Felgor team. I'm not sure how they play into Felgor. He was telling us,
arrest them, right? Because Felgor only 10.
Only your dude with the your sexual deviant. What's his name?
Arrested the dude with the handcuffs.
Yeah, BDSM cop.
Yeah, the BDSM cop.
Not the subductor. What was his name?
Michelle Pfeiffer as a dude in Catwoman. He can arrest models of 10 wounds. The rest of them can only do
Castigator.
7. Castigator. That's the guy. He can do 10 wounds, and I believe the rest can only do 7.
Yeah, the rest can only do 7.
Yeah. So, also pro tip out there: if you guys are going into Vet Guard or 7 wound, maybe even 8 wound teams, take the dog and the leash master. It's quite good. You can bring, you can drop them probably for the mech teams. But yeah, I mean, I think that Exaction Squad, unfortunately, probably still needs more buffs. But I feel like once they get so many, they'll probably get like overtuned.
Yeah.
I think that they're a team that's definitely struggling right now. I don't know how to fix them. I'm glad I'm not a rules writer. I don't have to figure that out. You know?
Yeah, because the fix is just get lucky, don't run into elites.
Yeah, that's currently the one, right? And also, we can all pray to the Emperor still that cultists get another small nerf. I don't think they need anything big anymore. They're
pretty close to where they should be.
Yeah.
They're beatable, but they definitely still need something, because even though I think probably commandos have a better shot, I think that I would like to see the dude who transforms people, his thing that he auto gets to transform somebody, turn into an AP1 cost, you know?
Okay. Yeah, so you have to do it. You have to pay for it.
Yeah. I misspoke that earlier in the pod, but
you know what I thought that like wasn't touched was
Kasserkit?
No, Kasserkit I think are in a great spot. One of the best snoop friendly teams.
A lot of people would disagree with you.
Think so?
I know that there's a couple pretty good Kasserkit players out here on the West Coast, but you know, we've only seen them win like one major tournament. Like they have a pretty low win rate. Janis, do you think that they need to be touched anymore, or do you think that they're fine?
I think they're fine. I think it's just a matter of getting to know the secret sauce to play them well.
That makes sense.
I would say Kasserkit are like the guard equivalent of Phobos, where they technically have these rules that could make them win because it's very efficient.
Yep.
But you can't make a mistake or else it falls apart.
Yeah, that's the way I feel that team is. Like if you see a Phobos team that's played well and everything goes according to plan, you just get wrecked. Yeah. And I feel the same way with Kasserkit.
Yeah, I will say this. I see a lot of people on Reddit or in other areas come out and say this one specific thing. It's always said every time. Hey, I bought a single box of Vet Guard. How do I make a good, strong Vet Guard 10-man team? The answer is you don't. You play Kasserkit. If you're anyone that's listening, if you want to play Vet Guard, play him with 14 models. If you can't afford 2 boxes, just buy a Kasserkit box. That's true. If you can find them. But you could always take Cadians and, you know, guardsmen are guardsmen, right? Like no TO is going to have a problem as long as the models have the correct weapons.
Yeah, but they don't look as cool as the Kasserkit team. I mean, I saw like Jonathan brought his candykin, and I was like, God damn, that looks cool.
Yeah,
for Christmas. Yeah,
Christmas. Yeah, his Kasserkit team is painted with candy canes and stuff. It's amazing.
Nice.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you guys wanted to? I mean, we have a couple more teams to talk about. But like, is there any other? I'll get to that question afterwards. Do you think that the Gellerpox nerf of rust animations is going to be good enough to take them out of that 65% win rate and drop them to 50? Or do you? As I don't.
No, I think they're going to be like at 60 still. Like you never.
I mean,
probably really worried about that because your Nightmare Hulk was already going to like mess you up anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still going to be fine.
I think that the rust animations is bigger than people think. I think it's definitely going to drop them down to at least 55. I mean, I might be wrong.
I think it's going to drop them into that 50 under that 55 spot. That's 55% sweet spot.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because a lot of Gellerpox players really depended on that.
100%.
Yeah. And now that it's not there for them to depend on, is pretty big. Maybe people will figure out a different way to play them and maybe we'll see them rise again. But it's going to take some creative people out there, like bringing all Zangor, you know.
I also think people playing into into Gellerpox have to really change the way they think about playing them. Just because you're not going to do well if you go into a head-on fight with them. And lately there's been a lot of melee or very close quarters teams are released that have to get close, and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Every time that I've played Gellerpox and I've been using Intercession, it's like, okay, long range, and I do well against them.
Yeah.
I just don't play the mission and just stand back and shoot the big guys off the table and profit.
Yeah. For everyone who doesn't know what rust animation does, is it makes sure any models currently now, as the change, within 1 inch of a Nightmare Hulk count as injured. So it's harder for them.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're at 1 inch because
1 inch now.
Yeah.
1 inch range, and it does say regardless of any other rules. So
sorry,
anything, suck it, Space Marines, suck it, Golden Boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're another one. I forgot about them.
Yeah. So it's pretty strong, and I wonder if this tips it was already like Gellerpox were okay into cults. I wonder if this change to both of the teams influences that matchup any differently, because it used to be like Gellerpox and cultists are just kind of fighting, and then eventually like cultists just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you start losing models from Gellerpox and it pushes them back. But I wonder if, making the 6+ Feel No Pains go down, and also the rust animations, it's not a buff, but they still have it. Go to, I wonder if that's going to influence that matchup anymore.
I think post Dataslate Gellerpox are going to be better off with going into cults for sure. And the big one is going from Relentless to Ceaseless.
Yeah, that's huge. It also saved me a lot when I played. So now, does anyone want to talk about the Star Striders? I still don't like saying their first name.
The Elucidian?
Yeah, that's the one.
I didn't realize they changed. Huh.
Yeah, they got a small change. They got...
This was in the part 1 of the Dataslate, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably...
This was the Undaunted Explorers strat ploy.
Yeah. We might have gone over this in a previous pod, but we'll go over it again.
So, go ahead. Someone read it.
So it was Undaunted Explorers, the strategic ploy. The first time an attack dice is resolved, instead of... it's on the very first attack roll rather than every... and it also damage have to a minimum of 2, rounding up. So you, instead of like being like, oh, every single dice roll is now also halved, now it's just, straight to 2, and that's about it. So
yeah,
it's just for the very first dice roll, which is really important. Still bad against Melta, but nothing's good against Melta. I mean, I think it was definitely needed, because it just kind of puts everything in line with the same damage.
The damage 2 thing.
This is definitely more of a game hygiene change than something against the team itself, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And then I think we've gone over every change.
Nope, we're missing one big one.
We're missing a big one.
I was waiting for this one.
Okay, what is it?
The Pathfinders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't want to even talk about them.
You had a whole spiel in the car when we were driving back from day 1.
I've talked about them nonstop for the past 2 days. I'm trying to forget that they exist, because they should be burned. We should go to the Tau homeworld. Okay, as imperial brethren, we should go to the homeworld and burn everything. The only thing that should be living is Farsight, because Farsight's a homie. The rest of them, those little communist blue bastards all need to die in burning glory for the Emperor.
I love you, Dakotah.
We just lost like 12 listeners because they're the only ones that play Pathfinders.
It's the grenade ability is definitely the feels bad, because when I play against a team with people who don't know how to do the grenade thing, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
I don't really hate it. It's not that bad.
I mean, usually if they don't know how to do the grenade thing, they don't know how to run the team correctly.
Yeah, usually it's
true.
They're still learning it. So,
yeah,
then but that's the team that I feel like a lot of high players play. And it's kind of one of those, how do you play this casually? Because you just know this really good trick, and you're going to use the really good trick, turn 1 or turn 2.
You might as well.
Mind is, if you see the opportunity, like when I was playing against Evelyn this weekend, she set up a little bit poorly, and I had an option to kill 3 guys. So I'm going to try to take that shot. That's what it is. You see it, and you're like, well, how would you not,
Yeah.
So
their Alpha Strike capability is still the best in the game. There are other teams. Glass Half Dead just released a video. He didn't name Phobos or quite a few of the other teams. But in my opinion, Alpha Striking is when you do something to an enemy team that they can't come back from. And
it just hits them so hard.
It hits them so hard that you've pretty much won game at turning point 1. The best Alpha Striking teams in the game, in my opinion, is Pathfinders, Higher Tech Circle with their stupid fly blast. What else is there? And Phobos is a really good one. You can
make the Reaver do the thing.
Corsairs have 2 different ones, and you have Hand of the Archon, right?
Legion can do one too if they're lucky.
That's with the sorcerer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the most reliable one by far is Pathfinders, and the reason
100%.
The reason why everyone hates Pathfinders is because if you've ever played against Pathfinders and anyone has done this move against you once, you're like, wow, fuck that team and fuck anyone who plays them. Because you can, no matter what, steal turning point 1 if you do it correctly. You can get 3 dashes magically and get a move and then throw a grenade that ignores visibility.
And your pregame dash. Don't forget.
Yeah. So it's three total dashes, a move and a throw. It's a 21-inch threat range, which if you're on hot dog, hamburger, whatever, it's essentially the entire empty battlefield. So, I would love to see a nerf to the team, and then they could start buffing them again if they did this one singular nerf. And this would be a nerf to the entire game. I would love to see this errata come through for the entire core rules, where you're only allowed to take 1 dash action before the beginning of the game. And I think that would really help a lot of Alpha Strike potential. And I think that is like a really important thing for the health of the game, because I don't think anyone likes to be Alpha Struck. No one likes to take an hour to do setups because they're afraid that the Pathfinder is going to do it, and they're like, okay, I'm safe, and the Pathfinder is like, nope. You forgot I had an extra dash from Monka,
right? Like, I would agree with that. It in my opinion, though, because there are some teams that like to do more dashes than 1, it should be that each model can't make more than 1 pregame dash move.
Correct. Yeah, so, each model. Yeah, each model.
That way you're like, all right, cool, you can still do everything else you need to do. Like Corsairs have their move thing, their move shenanigans.
Yeah, they can move standardly, right? Like, so can Monka. Yeah. Monka, you can get a free one, but it's still what it stops a Pathfinder player from taking the dash at the beginning of the round, the recon sweep, and then Monka on top of that, right? Or if they had like a maximum move of like your model can only move this amount of inches in a round, you know what I mean? Like maximum. It's similar to the GA2 thing of like, the reason why Pathfinders were hated originally was because you could chain activate 7 models, right? Or however freaking many it was.
It was only like, 4.
Yeah.
It was 4 still.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well,
that guy's dead.
Not only am I going to chain activate 4 people, but then I'm going to get Overwatch with 4 or 5 weapons because I took my 11 model team and dropped them down to 7 activations. Get fucked.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I've killed all your models. I don't need to be on activation anymore. Overwatch anyways. Of course, they were around before Colts were out, so they're on the same level of hate.
They had that. People. They were the first ones with the big thing. But anyways, back to the change. This one I think is a little nicer because it makes your other Art of War, I believe it's pronounced Kion. I'm not quite sure how I would.
You mean Crayon? I'm just going to call it Crayon now.
Crayon's Art of War ability.
Yeah. Kayun or something like that.
Caillou from the show.
Yeah. A little bald kid.
Hey, they're bald, so why not, right? They're just Caillou blue. So in addition to their ability, it has once in each activation, friendly Pathfinder operatives can perform a mission action or the pickup action for one less action point to a minimum of 0, which is awesome. Phobos has that, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
That's one of those, like, I could see you using this even in some open boards.
It's so cool.
Yeah, but I think this was mostly done for them being able to into the dark. Since that's where they really are struggling.
But the problem is it buffs them in open too.
Yeah.
So,
but only if they take this, then they're not taking...
if they're taking this, they're not taking Montcalm.
Right, so then...
But here's the thing. Do they need to into Space Marines? Do they need to turn one Alpha Strike a Space Marine? No, they don't.
I mean, they could delete one before you start. You're only starting with 5?
Yeah, but you're trading one for one. Like, for instance, if you take this instead, you can move... you can be hidden on an objective. You could then pick up the objective, whether it be secure or whether it be loot, move your model, and then shoot. Essentially, Crayon, Kayun makes it so their entire team for 2 turns has 3 APL. And to me, on Into the Dark, it's great. They definitely needed a buff on Into the Dark.
Well, Art of War is only once per turn. Like, once you've done it, then it's gone. You don't get it again.
But here's the spicy thing.
They have a ploy that you can basically do.
Oh, that's right. Free.
So their leader can then say, I'm going to do it again for any model within 6 inches. Now, here's the crazy thing. You can activate all your models in 6 inches, right? And they can't leave that 6-inch bubble. Otherwise, they lose the ability. But they could still do, like, I'm going to loot here, move away, and it's like, okay, now it doesn't matter, and then I'm going to shoot. And then the leader can then move somewhere else on the battlefield, and every person, it's a bubble that follows him. So then every Pathfinder in that area also gets 3 APL. So it's a harder it's harder to pull off correctly, but essentially you could give the majority of your team, if not everyone on your team, as long as you set it up right, 3 APL for 2 rounds. So it's busted. It makes the team. I hate the change. I mean, it makes them, in my opinion, pretty good on Into the Dark. You just play them differently. You play them with this. You bring Marker Light thing instead of the what's it called?
Jumps into the second change.
Yeah.
Which you want to go over that?
Yeah, you bring over your Marker Lights, and then you just, what is that one called? What is their Marker Light?
High intensity Marker Light?
The high intensity Marker Light.
That is their equipment. It's
Are you thinking of the ploy?
Yeah, the ploy.
I think it's a tactical ploy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now. TAC Ops, mark enemy movements.
Oh, yes.
So if you have, I mean, it's not great against Space Marines because if you kill 3 of them, you can't. You have to mark at least 3 models,
right?
And if they have less than 3, which typically they very well could, but like Patient Hunter's really good now. Like if more than half of your team is on conceal, and you score more victory points, mission objectives than your opponent, you score a point. So it's like, hey, I can do mission actions for free, and all my dudes are on conceal. Marker lighting your team, cool. I score 1. I score 1 on turn 1. I score 1 on turn 2 because I'm faster than you. And then turn 3, every single model in your team has 5 marker lights, and I kill you. Cool beans, good stuff. So they're close quarters. Each friendly operative can perform the guard action while it has conceal order. And if it does so, interrupt as normal, but instead of making a guard attack, they can perform a marker light action if able to. Now, the great thing about marker lights is all you need is visibility. So they don't care if you can't do a reciprocal shot. As long as they can see your model,
Yeah.
They can marker light you.
Yep.
Guess what else they can start doing? They can also instead take high intensity marker lights. So now you get 2 marker lights per marker light. Like all this crazy stuff that you can do. So you just have to play the quote unquote patient hunter now instead of the super aggro, saber-tooth tiger. I just fucking hate the team. I just don't like the change. I think I would not be surprised if they're taken to mixed tournaments and they start winning mixed tournaments. So I would not be surprised.
Make that comeback. But how do they do against cultists?
They can nuke the shit out of them, man. We saw Austin at SummerSlam. He took turn 1. He did the Moncaw dash and did all that stuff, and he killed I think 8 or 9 models.
Yes,
on turning point 1 with his Alpha Strike. So
they still have play.
They do have play, and they do 4 or 5 damage, which is fantastic in the torments. So while they don't have a lot of blasts, they have enough damage to kill the big dudes, which is kind of the most important part. Janis, what do you think about Pathfinders?
I hate them. Sorry, point blank, I hate them.
Do you hate them as much as me, and with the fervent desire of your flesh terrors?
Yeah, pretty much. I can't. I have certain opinions when I see someone that's a Pathfinder player. Or playing Pathfinders, I should say.
Is it the same opinion as that you have them as cultists, or is it different?
It's different. This is more like a spiritual thing.
That's fair enough. Janis, do you like the change for the 2 new See, here's the thing. They are buffs, and they're more of a sideways buff than they are like, they didn't take anything away that they messed them up on before. This is like moving their power in a different direction.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good for them for definitely Into the Dark. I'm curious to see how it's going to be in open, to be quite honest. But I still think Montcaw is going to be the big way to go
for open. I agree.
Open.
I think that this can have its play into certain matchups, but like obviously, if somebody clumps up a lot,
yeah,
you can't resist it. It's just like it's a disease in their mind of like, where is this grenade going to go?
Yeah,
they can't help themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's anytime I play against a Pathfinder player, it's like, okay, how am I going to minimize the damage on the Alpha Strike? Because I know Montcaw is coming first turn.
Yeah. I think this Kion Art of War, though, you can still possibly Alpha Strike on Into the Dark because they can open a door for free. They still get 2 dashes. They can open a door for free while moving through it. So yeah, you have a 3-inch less range. So instead of a 21-inch, you have an 18-inch. But an 18-inch.
But throwing a grenade, you only got 3 inches of range.
True.
Into the Dark.
But if you think you're safe and you don't set up everyone in super cover.
Right.
Yeah. So they just brought Alpha Strike into the Dark.
I don't know. I just like the fact that Pathfinder's struggling Into the Dark, but that's just me.
It makes us see him less events, that's for sure.
Yes.
Maybe not for long. We'll see. We will see. Is there anything that you guys kind of wish on your wish list that you would see in the future?
For a Dataslate change?
Yeah, Dataslate stuff. I have a couple. Outside of nerfing Pathfinders into the ground, outside of that.
Well, that's just wishful thinking on my part. I mean,
our part.
I just don't want Pathfinders in the game. That's just me. But
I think it's ridiculous that they have more movement than all Eldar players and more maneuverability than all Eldar players and better shooting than all other teams. It's too much. Just choose one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I would like to see Corsairs get some love.
Ooh.
To be quite honest.
Okay.
That's my big thing I would like to see for the future. I would like to see their medic actually be a medic rather than just kind of I heal for D3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to see them actually be a medic and being able to revive somebody.
I could see that. It'd be another cool change to Phobos. I mean, not Phobos, Corsairs. Make all their base moves 7 inches.
Ooh, just add it in.
Yeah, just give them the Hathkin.
The Hearthkin thing. Would you get rid of their free dash thing then instead? Would you just turn it into?
Just if we were looking for small things, it's kind of a big thing, but
Yeah.
that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Did you guys already talk about the grenade from Hand of the Archon?
No, we have not.
I'd like to see that change, the grenade change from Hand of the Archon.
Did you play into that?
I got affected by it. Only one guy got affected by it because you'd be a fool if you let it go off twice. It's probably going to happen once. But I heard from a different table that 6 guys got affected by it.
Oh, yeah.
In one grenade throw.
Oh, how bunched up were they?
They had to, I think, to go for a point. I forget how the demons were playing. It was demons, right? They were playing against demons?
No, I think it was... Well, it might have been demons. I know it happened to Exaction Squad. So we had a Rob playing his Hand of the Archon. We've had Rob on the podcast quite a few times. Mm-hmm. He played really well. He got 3rd place at the tournament. He had a really nasty grenade go into Exaction Squad, and he got this huge blast off on them.
Okay.
Pretty rough. Did he also get one against demons too?
I want to. Well, I mean, that's his opponent at the end against Mr. Jimmy Kelly. I would hope he got it off. and like Jimmy was telling us afterwards, demons don't have a comms guy, so once they're injured, they really start losing a lot of momentum. Mm-hmm. Their economy just gets ruined. And I feel like that grenade is really strong. I almost wonder if it's going to become a one-time use thing. Or do you think it's going to stay forever as many times as you want?
I don't foresee Hand of the Archon getting changed anytime soon. I think they're a really strong team.
Yeah.
But I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah, they're not they have tricks that can really mess you up, but they're not there's something super wrong with the team that needs to be dealt with. In
my opinion, they're definitely the better elf faction.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. But I do think that I don't necessarily think that it's any fault of them. I think that Corsairs just need a little something to make them either more unique or because ultimately Hand of the Archon does everything Corsairs want to do, but they just do it better. So outside of the Shade Runner, right? Everything else is pretty much, they have better melee, they have better movement. Or actually they don't have better movement. Corsairs still have them on that. But they can get an extra, they're a little bit more unique. I think that Corsairs suffer from the stock standard kill team syndrome where they were making a bunch of teams very similar for a long time and rather than making them more unique.
They were box 3, right, of release?
Yeah, they were the third. They were the 3rd box, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're probably right. They're just kind of suffering from old age. Mm-hmm. What if they got another guy?
I think that might break them. That might make them too strong. But it would be cool to see. It would be interesting.
I would like to just see little tweaks done to some of their operatives, just to make them a little, either like I said, more like you said, more unique, or just give them that little oomph.
Give them the Felgor treatment where all their models actually do something.
They all frenzy now.
Have light fingers built into everybody.
Frenzying.
That might be too strong.
Frenzying
Eldar.
Hashtag the cult of flesh is coming in. That would be a really cool kill team to have grotesques, or not grotesques, but Racks or
you never grotesque
or mandrakes or mandrakes come in. Those would be 2 really cool ones.
You're bringing back shades of 2018 kill team with
I disliked them back then. They were really strong.
They were super strong. They were super strong.
Liquefying guns. If anyone out there that has not heard of a liquefying gun, I think Luton's done an episode on it, but anyone that hasn't brushed up on their Kill Team lore, it's a horrifying gun, almost as horrifying as a monofilament Harlequin's Kiss, but super deadly in Kill Team 2. It's ridiculous.
In Kill Team 2, when I saw that I was going up against Dark Eldar, that was one of the ones that I actually had fear in my heart when going up against. Yeah,
that was my one loss at in 2020 Kill Team. I lost to Alec Berryman and his Dark Eldar. My team broke. I'm so glad they got rid of breaking in this game. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like, oh, I rolled a 2 dice and now my team doesn't do anything. Cool. I lost the game.
Yeah, that was a weird rule. They got rid of a lot of things that were more like, again, if rules aren't fun to play, if rules aren't fun to play with, like, why even make them? Then you could argue a lot of teams have that issue right now, but you still get to play the game.
The morale rules were artifacts of it being 40K based.
Yeah, that was true mini 40K was old Kill Team.
But anyway, we're off track on reminiscing about the olden times.
Is there anything that you guys would like to see changed? I want to talk about an initiative thing that we talked about earlier, and G, you could lead that one off. But outside of that, Janis, is there anything that you would like to see change in the game? Like outside of that, like I would like my thing. I know that we've talked about this, but my thing I would love to see Compendium get updated. Either that or take it out. One of the two. I don't want to see them anymore, or I want something to change, because outside of Jimmy Kelly being the champion of Compendium, you don't see anything from any of these teams ever anymore. Like we had Robert take Craft Worlds to 18th at LVO. Like obviously there's some play in some of them, but I see that Compendium is the forgotten child right now. Yes.
That they're just it's an appendix that's just going to wither away, to be quite honest. I wish
like your appendix.
Yeah, like your appendix.
My appendix got taken out because it was withering. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel that it would be good for the game if it came down from on high that Compendium is no more for competitive, because like you said, there's a couple little tricksy things that you can do with it, but it doesn't have place in the game anymore, in my opinion.
Makes sense. That does make sense. G, do you want to take us off on your thought process on initiative?
Yes. So first, I had to give her credit's due. This comes from Mr. Kellen himself, as he's had his issues with initiative rolls, which I totally feel it. I've come from AOS. I come from Kill Team, and originally, you just you try to play into it, but it still can suck when you're both like, we both really need to go first. And that did happen a lot in the tournament, where I was finding both of us really needed to go first, or else, one side's definitely going to win or not. This was what he had suggested originally, was much like in the recon step, you still select cards, which is still working in the rock, paper, scissors format.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on what you choose, determines if you go first, but you also get a bonus. Like he had +1 to movement for assault. He had a reroll for strategize, and I forget what the last one
was. Disengage. You can make a free dash action as long as it was closer to your own deployment zone.
Yes, so that was one we were kind of working with, but it was nonetheless a free dash. Dakotah and I brainstormed that idea after we'd heard it, because we were thinking that's not terrible. Like I also come from playing Legion, and Legion uses cards to determine who goes first.
Right.
And I thought that, honestly, it's not a bad system. It's a very good system. I really do enjoy it. What Dakotah and I were workshopping in the car was some of these abilities are a little too strong. Like the free dash we were thinking that's mighty strong, especially because you could kind of gamify it and always choose it or something.
Yeah.
So we came to the decision, what if you just still have the rock, paper, scissors format, but instead it's a free type of reroll that the person who doesn't get initiative gets. So if Dakotah and I are playing, he puts down one that would allow him a free ranged reroll, and mine, let's say, is a free close combat reroll. Let's say his beats mine. He doesn't get the bonus. He gets to go first, but now I get a bonus on one of my guys. So you still have that, like, here's your consolation prize. You don't get to go first, but you might still need what you're going to get, you know?
Yeah.
And
the three actions was one CP reroll for shooting, a CP reroll for attacking, or a CP reroll for a save. And it was a chainsword, a bolt gun, and a shield that would go onto the cards.
Okay.
And that's it. So you just played rock, paper, scissors. We haven't decided which one beats which, but it's just that. So the person who doesn't get initiative gets a bonus. And, well, if you get the initiative, you get to go first and do what you're trying to do.
And a tie goes to the defender as per normal rules. Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
That sounds interesting. I mean, there's been so many, like you said, there's been so many games that I've played where it's like, okay, if I get initiative, this could swing the game in my favor completely, or I lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot take. I don't care, and I don't mind the rolling, but
I'll try it. Like on my little casual events I do during the week, I will talk to my opponents, and if they're down, I'll try it out. I think it's worth at least trying.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. Report back to the pod. See how both you and your opponent liked it. Because, I mean, rock, paper, scissors does feel a little bit more in your control rather than it being random because you are selecting something. So I can definitely see the aspect of it. I still think it's a dice game, in my opinion, so I'm not.
Well, it's a dice and a card game now. They have cards.
Well, I hope in the next edition that we get the 40K-ified where all of our operatives comes on cards. So we don't have to carry around these giant books. I think that would be really nice.
Right, like you get the option to buy the data slate stuff.
Yeah,
they probably wouldn't come with the special rules though they could make them like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're already like kind of doing that, like with, third party wise, But it would be nice to have like official, like what are they called? The tarot cards for your operatives.
I mean, Team Justine might have it right there. Theirs comes with a card.
Yeah, supposedly, right?
So, if maybe this is their test and they find out people like it, they'll be like,
how fast
another thing to sell you it.
How fast do you think Team Justin Timberlake's Justine's cards are going to leak online?
The day someone has them in their store.
Yeah, the day that somebody gets their greasy mitts on them that can either that is not beholden to an NDA. I think.
Yeah, the less scrupulous.
Yeah.
I will leak them if no one has. So just realize that, everyone. Join the Squad Games podcast for the Justin Timberlake leaks.
I'm still hoping that the heavy intercessor is still only 2 APL.
Right?
You want that?
You
or
might
you
be able to take 7 then, because he's only 2 APL. It's not that bad.
No, I just for the troll, just for the troll of it.
I think that if they have to drop a model, they'd probably drop him if he's 2 APL, unless if his gun was just nutters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be the heavy bolter, so that's 4 or 5 damage with Fusillade.
Yeah. Now we're all going to be building this team, right?
I mean, I have all the parts already.
Yeah, I from what I've seen of the models that are going to be in that, I think I already have the team put together.
Nice. Now, how are we
from my 2018 intercession kill team?
Nice. Now, Janis, how did you paint them? And Giacomo, how do you plan on painting yours? Because I have something I'm going to do.
Well, mine are all the ones that I already have that would fit for this are already done in Flesh Terrors colors.
Okay. Sticking with the Flesh Terrors. I gotta love it. How about you, G?
Well, I'm going to talk about this a little bit here.
Yes, do it.
Before the end of the podcast, I painted up another chapter. So,
what chapter? I'm so excited.
We'll talk about it here in a little bit.
Okay. She's going to say Blood Angels.
I think I'm going to stay boring because my Imperial Fists already have all the pieces exactly needed for this team.
Oh my gosh.
It's already done, and I've already put all that effort.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was thinking like I could collect the models and paint them like they look, but I already have the models, and like a lot of people say online, it's probably going to be a little hard to get. Though I did find someone online who's able to point me to a place to pre-order them, but it's in the UK, and they don't do international shipping.
Ooh.
Yes, I was ready to pre-order right there, and then I was like, thanks, man, but it's UK only.
Damn, what is it?
Instagram homies.
Hashtag not affiliated by Element Games. We're not cool enough.
They do international shipping.
They do. I'm gonna do Ultramarines.
Of course you are.
Classic. I mean, it's a classic look.
That's boring.
I know. I already have my Imperial Fists. I'm going to be painting up a new intercession team as Black Templars, which is my real favorite faction. And then I'll do Ultramarines. And for Phobos, I don't know what I'm going to do for Phobos, but I'm going to do a different faction for each. So I think it should be pretty fun. Pretty exciting.
It should be fun.
Now, Janis, you've teased us for long enough. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So...
well, she says Imperial.
Lamenters.
No. She's gonna say. I
will do my joke thing that I have been toying around with putting Phobos together for quite a while since they were awful. And yes, those ones I have been planning to paint up as Lamenters because they were so bad for so long. I wanted. It's like if I did a loss, it's like, yeah, I'm playing Lamenters.
So this is actually a win thematically.
Yeah. Now, the real thing is that I've been working on for quite a long time and finally got them table ready. Is I have Space Wolves for intersection.
Hey, all right.
And that's the ones I'm running them as my stealthy durable guys.
Oh, that's exciting. Stealthy durable. Let's go.
Yeah, and saving the flesh terrors for when I'm feeling aggro.
Okay.
I
dig that.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I ran them at a local tournament last weekend and ended up taking third in that tournament with them. Only because I ran into Ryan, my teammate, and we came down. It was a close game, but he ended up taking the win.
What was he playing?
One. Yeah, he was playing Kroot.
What?
Farstalker or Compendium?
Oh no, Farstalker, Kinband.
Okay, all right. Because
Wow.
I was about to say, like, the Crew Talks just go off. I still wish they had that model. Okay, I love the Crew Talks, and I think the Crew Talks is so. He's also a really good operative.
It's a very good operative
in Kill Team. Yeah,
and
very good.
I just got to say, the Skinner gun is like,
ooh, man, that thing.
I do not like. Do not like.
What is it? AP2 with Torrent?
Yeah.
Yeah, and hits on twos like 5 or 6 attacks. Yeah, that thing can go to hell. Like,
funny thing was in that game, he came up with it, shot a full strength Marine, killed him dead.
Oh,
and it's like, okay. So next turn he moves, and I have this one Marine that had been like tanking a bunch of shots and got into melee with some things and lived. He had like 2 wounds left. Ryan came up, got like 2 inches away from the guy, shot him with the gun, and only managed to score 1 hit.
Only needs 1.
Well, he scored 1 hit, and I saved. So it's like he like wiped off either it was a full strength or near full strength Marine with his first shot, and then like completely whiffed on the second one. There's this poor beat to hell Marine. It's like, okay, I'll stab you now.
No, I'm
it was fun.
I'm excited that we all have different factions except for Giacomo. Just running Imperial Fists.
It's already done.
I'm going to convince him one of these days to. They're just small teams.
Imperial Fist players I've seen are like the ones that like, no, I play Imperial Fists. I only play Imperial Fists. Yeah.
I mean, that is true. I have 2,000 points of troops, Primaris troops of Imperial Fists. I don't have any tanks.
And
God, nuts.
I will say, if they have changed chapters, an Imperial Fist player either goes Black Templars or Crimson Fists.
Yeah, that'd be the only the two.
That's the only deviation they have. It's like, whereas other players, it's like, oh yeah, I'm playing Blood Angels, but I'm going to make a team that's Ultramarines or White Scars or something. But nope.
If I wasn't colorblind, I might like Death Angels or Death
Dark Angels.
Dark Angels. I might like the Dark Angels just because I might be able to see the color more, and I really like the Lion.
Lion is pretty dope.
But hashtag Daddy Dorn for life. Let's be honest.
Daddy Dorn for life.
Yeah.
So are you red-green colorblind or?
I am red-green color deficient.
Okay.
Moderate color deficient. So
okay.
That is my I cannot be a fighter pilot or a pilot.
Right.
Yeah, because apparently I can't see the ground enough.
Who needs to see the ground?
Yeah, it's more along the lines of when things are like I can tell like different greens and different reds, but when they're far away, like for instance, when I was flying over Oregon, I made my wife so upset. We were flying over Oregon during the fall, and she's like, "This is why I want to live in Oregon. Everything is so pretty. Look at the ground." And I was like, it was like fall, and all the trees were dying. Mm-hmm. And I looked outside, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it just looks like a bunch of poop. Like there's no. I see 2 red trees, and I see like 11 yellow trees." And she was so upset because like it just looked like a sea of mud to me because I was so far away. But apparently, they were all beautiful fall colors that I can't see. So,
that's too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I can see them up close, like, but far away, no, they just blend together.
But yeah, I have a kind of switching gears on you guys here to ramble. We have the Goonhammer event in Baltimore this coming weekend. That I'm going to.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of plasma spam there.
Nice.
And the team will be there too.
Yeah.
I think Orion is helping Travis TO that, right?
Yeah, on Sunday, Ryan will be there to help Travis, but on Ryan has something going on Saturday that he can't be there.
Okay. Yeah, and has that event sold out yet? Do you know, or is it still just 20 players? Travis was just here. I think he said there was 20 out of 24 sold that so far.
There's 21 players signed up right now from what I'm seeing.
So there's 3 left. Get your tickets. Let's go.
Let me double check that just to be certain. Open link. Come on. Work with me here, computer.
We'll be watching BCP as it's probably not going to be streamed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a stream happening at that event, unfortunately. But if there is, I will let you guys know, and you can share it out. Yeah, currently it's showing 21 players listed. However, one hasn't submitted any information yet, so I don't know if there are going to be a drop or not.
Okay.
And the deadline for submitting roster was yesterday.
So that's probably a good indication that they're probably not going to go. That's one thing that I've seen.
Right.
Now, something exciting is Janis. I know that you won't be able to make All Valley this year. Hopefully next year.
I won't be able to this year.
Yeah. So the cool thing is that we will be streaming that event. So you will be able to watch and see a few things. So anyone that wants to watch us, you can go to our Twitch channel, subscribe, and watch that event. And then we will also be recording SoCal Open. Now, SoCal Open happens in a giant hangar, and FLG has let us know that the internet is notoriously unstable. So I can either hotspot my phone, which we probably won't put out a good product because we're going to be using phone's hotspot, and who knows I don't know if it's going to be good there or not. So we'll probably be recording SoCal Open. That is one you are planning to go to, right, Janis?
Yeah, I'm trying my best to get everything in line to go to that one.
All right.
So we'll be recording that one and releasing it on our YouTube, and possibly our Patreon. Maybe like the longer version or the shorter version. We're not sure. And then finally, the West Coast Championship here in November will also be streaming as well as LVO. So we have a couple big tournaments we plan on streaming coming up here pretty soon. So if you guys like Giacomo's voice, he's going to be the caster, or at least the person talking to the Twitch stream while you hear everyone else talking while playing. But should be good. I wish a lot more teams or TOs could or would stream. It seems like it was just kind of like me and Sheldon. I get it. It's difficult. Some of our events are just impossible to do. Mm-hmm. But something's better than nothing. So
yeah. And like I've said before, I think a lot of the Kill Team community has to give thanks to Sheldon for building that initial interest in Kill Team 2018 with his streaming, because I know that did so much to bring people into the community.
Absolutely. I think that the West Coast Championship and New York Open are both going to be streaming on the same day. So I'm pretty sure we're going to eat the audiences between the two of each other, but it is what it is. I see a lot of battle reports going out there. This the guys, Six-Sided Legion from Minnesota. Those guys are crushing it. So if you guys want to watch some good battle reports, make sure you guys go check out their channel. They're good dudes. So, is there anything that you want to shout out, Janis?
The only thing to shout out is that Dakotah and I will be on a team at Nova this year for the Nova Teams tournament.
Hell yeah, we are.
Nice.
So yeah, Dakotah and one of the other Plasma Spam members, Jeremy, are going to be a team with Dakotah to hopefully take the win for the Nova,
for the Emperor of Mankind.
Yes.
Well, now wait, what is Jeremy playing? Are we allowed? I'm going to play Vet Guard. Striking Scorpions won't be out by then unless GW surprises me this week. So I'm bringing Vet Guard, everyone.
That's not happening.
My heroes, my action heroes are coming. They're coming for you.
I'm bringing Intercession.
Okay, Jeremy, if you listen to the podcast, and if you don't, you're going to listen to this episode just for our final few lines. That's these lines coming up now. You have to play Imperium. Okay, don't come out here and bring some cultists or do some kind of sweaty behavior. You got to come out, play some breachers. You got to play something. Play Compendium Space Marines if you have to. Okay, come out for the Emperor, and we'll all pray to the Emperor, and we're gonna take the dubs. So it's gonna happen.
Taking the dubs, guys.
Taking the dubs.
That's the way it's gonna be. Dakotah has declared it.
Yeah, and if he doesn't own any Imperium, I will bring my Imperial Fists. No, I can't, because I'm assuming you're not allowed to bring the same team for this event, like the All Valley.
Don't know. Since it's a 3-person team, I don't know.
Yeah, at the All Valley, we don't allow multiples of the same teams, because imagine this, Janis. Let's just all imagine
3 cultists.
So he's playing Compendium Death Guard or Death Watch. You're playing Intercession. I'm playing Vet Guard, and we run into a 3 cultist team. We're all going to get on our knees, pray to the Emperor, and then beat them soundly. Yeah, including the Death Watch.
That's so positive for you guys.
I know that Jeremy does have some Imperium stuff. I know he's run Intercession before, and if he wants to run Intercession, I can surely come up with another Imperium team to bring along.
I'm sure we'll figure out something. We got to get on Discord and chat. We'll talk about it. And then we all show up with all Chaos armies. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Incredible.
Not going to happen. We're not going to fall to the dark side.
See, I could. If Jeremy wanted to bring Marines, I could bring my Legion, since they are word bearers, and y'all follow Lorgar's book for the Imperium religion. I mean,
that's close. That's close enough. That is pretty close. I will give you that. Yeah, maybe you just bring. Maybe he brings. What is his Intercession team painted as?
I don't remember, because I wasn't up at Salt City when he ran them.
Let's just call them the Blue Babies.
Blue Babies.
Blue Babies, the Rebute Gilliman boys, and then we'll have Flesh Terrors, and then I'll be
running my Space Wolves.
Okay, Space Wolves, and then I'll bring Imperial Fists, and then we'll just be all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Do the primary colors, man.
Gray, white, and blue. No, gray, yellow, and blue. Yeah, there we go. All the
That's
colors.
right. That's right. That's
all
the colors.
that exists to Dakotah. That's the only colors that exist.
Because you're colorblind.
Yes.
It's even worse than we thought. He only can see 3 colors now.
Yeah, that's why I can see, Cool Ranch Doritos. They're yellow and brown,
yellow.
right?
And brown.
Yeah,
probably.
That's right. Yeah,
I haven't eaten those in a long time.
That's my only shout out for this edition.
Sounds good. Sounds great.
G,
is there anything you want to shout out?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at wargaming_studios. You can hang out with us on the Squad Games Discord. I just found out the link has expired, so I'm fixing that in the show notes. Because it was supposed to be an infinite link, but I'm sure some update changed that thing. Anyways, besides the point, you can find us on the Squad Games Discord channel, where we talk all the time, keeping that up to date, keeping the jokes alive. And if you're looking to buy stuff or go to Frontline Gaming Events, our affiliate link is also in the show notes, and that does help us out. And of course, if you want to join our Patreon, that's another way to support the show. Even if it's as small as a $2 level, we always appreciate it. Thank you guys. And a shout out to our patrons who are helping us run the show now.
Absolutely. I'd like to shout out 2 things. We have I started another YouTube channel for the Squad Games Live because apparently long form videos kill people from watching your stuff. So Squad Games Live has our podcasts that we're uploading to it. We'll also be doing our Twitch live streams, adding to that, and then we'll edit them down and put them on our actual YouTube channel so that they're a little bit more digestible. And I'd also like to shout out our Twitch channel. It looks like bi-weekly we're going to be trying to do the tabletop hot takes. So you guys it's a live call-in show where you join the Discord, you write your hot take in it, and then we pull hot takes. We have you call in on the show and you tell us your hot take. We discuss it, and then we just do that for an hour or 2 hours, and then we just go on our merry ways. So it's a fun show. Come and check us out. And as always, thank you guys for listening. And Janis, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, no problem.